The Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Hon Ruth Nankabirwa, has asked bishops of the Church of Uganda to embrace oil and gas sector for national development and opportunities.
Of course, the foundation for the development of Uganda's gas and oil sector are anchored in the national oil and gas policy. We have a policy. You cannot develop anything without a policy to guide you. So we have a policy. We have other legal and regulatory framework. In case you are challenged, you say there are laws that were passed in cabinet and in parliament.
Nankabirwa said this while addressing the House of Bishops sitting at Bushara Island camp on Lake Bunyonyi in Kabale district. Yeah. According to Nankabirwa, since the discovery of oil in the country, a lot of enemies of progress have been moving around the country spreading negative propaganda against the resource. She says that the involvement of the religious leaders will assist government in sensitization of masses to appreciate the essence of resource development in the country.
There is a threat from the activists who are decampaigning our agenda, our development agenda in the petroleum, oil and gas. And these activists, in-country activists and foreign activists, target the same institutions. They have approached religious leaders. They have asked them for their opinion about Uganda's projects in the petroleum, oil and gas, the crude oil pipeline, project, Tilenga project, Kingfisher, and they didn't have any information. So that is the objective of this address, and it has been the first of its kind.
Nankabirwa says that her ministry will organize a field tour of religious leaders in the country to places where oil is being exploited for them to understand more on the resource. Concerning the ever-increasing fuel prices in the country, Nankabirwa says that the exploitation and processing of Uganda's oil will not solve the challenge, but it will create a more secure reserve for the much-needed resource.
Talk about security of fuel in terms of reserves. Maybe we'll be able to have fuel in our reserves. We are constructing a storage terminal in Ipigi, which will have a capacity of 351 million liters stored in Ipigi. So, because now we have only 30 million liters capacity in Jinja. So I cannot commit to say the price will drastically drop, but security of the reserves will be there.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Stephen Kazima Mugalu, says that having met the energy minister, they are convinced of the benefits the country is going to get from the resource. He, however, asked those in authority to use the resource in a rightful manner and desist from tendencies of corruption.
When anything has to do with the development of this country, we are part of it. Anything to do with health matters, we are part of it, so that we can help. We are always the first one to get information. Now, it's very, very important for us as bishops in the country to get the information, and we are able to pass it on to the congregation. Where anything is needed for knowledge, we get it first. So this is why we are here, and we are so grateful. We have good information. We'll be able to share it with our Christians. But also we are able to ask questions about how people are going to benefit from this oil. We need to know, because we don't want things to do with corruption to take over, because corruption is a killer. It can destroy these very good things God has given us.
Some of the bishops expressed their several wishes from the resource.
Some time back, I think 2013, a group of activists came to our area and they distributed some CDs written on, "Is oil a curse or a blessing?" Actually, from that workshop, people went out with a negative attitude about the production of oil and its related effects. So mine is to ask to know what plans the government has to move around demystifying this.
You will have those who attack the projects, which I hate to hear. But when the attack also involves the universities, the academia, then that is not something you should take lightly. For example, if someone has made a research, is a PhD student, and came up with that conclusion, I think he qualifies to be invited and you listen, in order to help many that will not be sidelined or taken by his whatever fake findings. So those lines are not something to take lightly, because some people respect what a PhD student comes about, because they will say this is politics, but this is reality, and that's not to be taken lightly.
The discovery and confirmation of oil and gas resources in Uganda was in 2006, and it was a significant milestone in the country. Since then, several strides have been made to ensure sustainable development in the oil and gas sector. This resulted into the signing of key project agreements in April 2021 and announced the physical investment decision (FID) of the project on the 1st of February 2022. Nobati Gamachi for Kigezi Television.